The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, I seen some concerning news regarding my biggest hater, the racist pedophile, Just a Robot. No, he's flagging videos now, I guess. You know, he flagged this smaller YouTuber. I think his name is Lucid Shiloh, I think. Hold on for a second. Let me make sure I'm saying his name right, because it's funny because I reacted to his friend talking about it and I mispronounced his name. Okay, so yeah, it was Lucid Shiloh. But anyways, so I reacted to a video of Lucid Shiloh's friend talking about it. And I did mess up on his name. I do apologize for that. I apologized in the comment sections. I'm like, nah, in case if he listens to this podcast episode, I'm like, once again, I do apologize. I'm not good with names, bro. I've said this, a lot of times. And I feel like that it's something that people just need to know about me. Like, I meet somebody for the first time, I'm probably not gonna get your name down right. If it's one of them names where I'm like, I ain't gonna even say it's complex, but I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm not good with names. I'm not good with remembering names and at times even pronouncing names. Like, if it's one of them like unique names where you're the only one with that name, yeah, bro, that's one of those things. I'm like, hey, look, bro, you're gonna have to, how you look up a word on Google and they got like a easier way of pronouncing it and stuff. Like, if you can't pronounce it by looking at it, but they got like that easier way in the parentheses, yeah, do that with your name, all right? Because if you got like one of them like them Akon type names, I'm like, yeah, bro, that's why that man, he just gets called Akon. Because if you have to say his full name, my thing is this, right? Besides getting into this episode, hold on for a second, let me just see if I can pronounce Akon's full name. So let's just say there's like now the Grammy Award goes to, and you have to say Aliune Damala Boga Time Puru Naka Lululu Bardara Akon Thiam. I don't even know if I'm even saying it right, but that's why I'm like, you guys say it slow, because if you say it fast, it's going to sound like a spell and something might blow up. So that's why I'm like, nah, bro, I think it's best, okay, if we should, YouTube, they should introduce a feature like that, where if it's like a person, his name is complex, or there's like use some like AI thing in case of a person needs to know how to, because even people have messed up my name and stuff. I'm like, I've been called Tommy Boss, TMossBoss, T-Boss Moss, everything besides TMossBoss. And yeah, it's crazy, bro. But anyways, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Just a Robot issuing out, so he flagged the video. So this is what I'm assuming that he did. So he went underneath a dummy account but I think it's still linked to his personal email or whatever. But anyways, he went through a dummy account, flagged the video for cyberbullying. I think that's what it was. And I'm thinking to myself, are you serious? I'm like, all of the different times your videos that I might get to, because I feel like that the friend and Lucid Shiloh, they might not know too much about me. Maybe they do. I don't know. But I am going to, I guess, tell my story, but just in a smaller sense. I ain't going to, go deep in depth, but I just feel like they would be fitting to tell my story, with a story like this and things. So, but anyways, he flagged, he got the video taken down, said that it was for cyberbullying. I guess, I think it was Lucid Shiloh. He contacted him and, was all like, yeah, you, flagged my video. And then that's when Just a Robot was trying to prove his innocence and things. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, who else would flag the video? Because I don't think he's thinking that. Like, Just a Robot's brain, for some reason, don't think that far out. You know how, like, on, like, dating apps, they got, like, the 5-mile radius thing? That's his brain. It's a 5-mile radius. If it's outside that radius, it ain't gonna be nothing. A thought is not gonna be found, all right? So, but anyways, yeah, so he tried to prove his innocence, but it's like, okay, who's gonna believe you? You done lied about stuff that you didn't even need to lie about, so why would you be telling the truth on this? That's what I would like to know. But like I said, who else is gonna flag that video? Who else is gonna want that video to get taken down? Your fans don't care. Obviously ain't gonna be somebody that don't care for you, so who else is gonna do it? It leaves you are the only suspect in this whole situation. But let's just get to talking about, I guess, what this video, because I didn't see the video. I should reach out to Lucid Shiloh and see if he has like a link or something to show me what the video was. But I guarantee and I promise you, the video ain't gonna be that bad. It's one of those things where if I'm thinking what I think this video is, and it's just of Lucid just talking about the recent well, I wouldn't say recent, but the drama surrounding Just a Robot these past couple of years. What was, I guess, I feel like a better question is, what was said in that video where you felt like it was cyberbullying? Because when we sit down and put who you are as a content creator in perspective, have you not been doing that for however long you've been involved in the internet space? I'm saying, like, that was literally the first thing that was ever said about you. Your very first moments on the internet, all right? I don't know if it's true or not, bullied a person so bad to where they off themselves. Explain that. Now, that was a rumor. I don't know if that was true or not, but if it is, like, because it might be one of those things where it's like, yeah, let's just say it actually did happen. He wouldn't want something like that on his, I guess, to be following him, or if it, it had some sort of effect. I mean, just even couple of years back, him defending that pedophile, that had a big effect. If that was true, now with the whole like him causing somebody to off themselves, that's one of those things where I'm like, you don't need to be on the internet, but I just, even with who you are, take that away, take that story away from you, and there's still a lot of different things that you done said and did to where it's like, you still don't need to be on the internet, all right? So, but anyways, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, for as long as I've known you, you have always been bullying people on the internet. And that's the thing, like with me, I don't believe in bullying. Like I know it happens. I know it happens to people. I guess, let me correct myself. I don't believe in myself getting bullied, and that's the thing, because people, I think for the most part, they think that, oh, you're not going to say nothing. You're not going to react. I was a reactor when I was a kid, meaning if a kid came up to me and bullied me, I was going to handle it. Kids tried that, and I always handled it. I would say that when I was in elementary, I was a little bit of a fighter. My mom had to sit me down and tell me, I'm like, yeah, you can't be doing that. You can't be fighting every single kid that says something about you. I'm like, all right, you right. I'm going to use my words. So my thing is this. So if a fight does happen, they're the ones that's going to start it, because I'm going to say something that's going to hurt. All right. So anyways, and I think that's what Just a Robot's case was, is that he didn't like the things that, I guess, because when me and him, when we very first got into it, I think that's what it was. He didn't like the fact that I downplayed his videos. And I think he took some sort of offense to that and stuff, so, but yeah, just, detailing who I was like growing up as a kid. Yeah, I wasn't that type of person. I just let somebody just walk all over me and things. And so I feel like he'll try to use that for himself, but it's like, okay, you can't walk all over people and then expect them to just, be all like, oh, I'm just going to allow you to walk all over me and not say nothing and do anything about it. Like, that's the thing that you need to understand, is that the image that you have of people on the internet, that's not reality. That's not facts. You're going to deal with people they're going to give you a taste of your own medicine, pretty much. So, but anyways, but yeah, I was like, throughout school, I was always that person that stood up for myself. So I'm just overall showing how deep the whole non-bullying thing went. I was like, nah, bruh, that ain't going to work with me. I'm going to let you know about yourself. All right. So, but anyways, Fast forward, became a content creator. People tried that same crap. I'm like, okay, this is the internet. So I'm like, anything goes at this point. I'm gonna really let's say some things that because I couldn't say too much back then because I'm like, okay, I'll mess around, get detention or get suspended, probably got expelled because I ain't got this kid and had an emotional breakdown over something that I said. So I'm like, let me just keep it PG, but I'm just, but also giving out some, some warnings, letting them know. I'm like, all right now, I'm like, you better go on about your business. Otherwise, I'm going to say something that's going to have you crying and stuff. So, and, and it's funny because there was this kid that was, I ended up becoming friends with him. And I remember he pulled that mess with me. He tried to make fun of my last name. And so for those that don't know, Moss is my last name. So people like, I guess kind of explain my content creating name, TMossBoss. So T is the first initial of my first name. And then Moss is my last name. And then I was like, okay, well, what rhymes with Moss? Boss, TMossBoss. All right. So now that we got a little educational lesson on my name, one day just creating an account on the iCarly website, and then that's when the name came to mind and stuff. But anyways, but I remember there was this kid that as the years went on, we ended up becoming friends with each other. And I don't even know if he remembers that, but I remember it because it was like that was like the first interaction that I had because I had just switched schools. And so I had moved and I switched schools. And so then, that was like one of the first interactions that I had with somebody. I think it was the first day at school too. And, he made fun of my last name. I made fun of his name. And then, he broke down in tears and started crying in the classroom. And I'm like, so you just made fun of my name and I didn't cry. Why are you crying? Like, that's the thing. If you know you're an emotional person like that, leave people alone. So, but anyways, getting back to just the robot. So the first interaction that I had with him, he does this video titled, I think it was Commentary on Defending Reactors. So Defending Reactors was my video. And so, and even if that's on some stuff too, where it's like, I don't think it was a copyright strike. Cause I'm thinking to myself, if what they did in that video, let's say if it was a copyrights thing, right? If what they did in that video is what you do in your videos, fam, I should have been copyright striking your videos a long time ago. But no, I think it was a guideline strike. It was a guideline strike for cyberbullying and stuff. So, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all the different times, but because I was getting ready to talk on like other people's situation. Let me just talk on my situation real quick. First interaction that I ever had with just a robot, he's throwing insults left and right throughout that video. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if this is supposed to be a criticizing video and stuff, that's not how you criticize people. You don't criticize people by insulting them. I guess like if somebody wanted me, and that was the thing too, I didn't want him, I didn't even know who he was until he had his fans start spamming my comment sections promoting his videos. Like, that's how desperate he was back in the earlier days and stuff. But yeah, had his fans spam my comment sections, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't care. It's like, you want me to care about your video. I'm like, I don't know what you want from me and stuff. But no, so that's what it was that what made him upset was that, so I watched maybe a minute. At the time, I had watched maybe a minute of the video. It wasn't until it was like maybe last year. I think, it was last year when I had reacted to all the videos that he did on me. But anyways, no, but I had, at the time when he very first, uploaded it, I was like, I think I had watched maybe a minute of it. And I'm like, this video is stupid. I'm like, cause the thing is this, you're trying to criticize me as a content creator, but you only watch that one video. You didn't watch my reaction videos. You didn't watch my gaming videos. You only watch that one video and left it at that. And you thought you knew everything you needed to know about me. Yeah, that, and that's the thing. So imagine if Rotten Tomato, if they reviewed or criticized a movie, but they only watched the opening credits. How can you trust their criticism? And even at times, so let's just say he did watch a lot of videos of mine, and then that's what he, so like, and that's why I guess, that commentary on defending reactors, that was like his final input on me and stuff. Why does your opinion matter more than my fans' opinion? Because that's the thing. If it comes down between listening to my fans or listening to some random guy that doesn't even care for my content, what do you think is the better option to go with? And my question, and I feel like that he'll say, oh, you want to listen to the criticism. Have you listened to the criticism surrounding you? Because if you did, I wouldn't be doing this podcast episode right now. So, and I wouldn't even have nothing to say about you, but that's your thing. You want people to accept your criticism. Meanwhile, you can't accept other people's criticism. Explain that. And make me understand that. I would love to have a debate or a conversation about that, about criticism, because I feel like that he is one person that he likes to use the word, because that was like, you know how like when you're a kid and you're in the in one of them like classes, like reading classes or whatever, and you got your word that you got it, because at least that's what they did for me. They gave us a word, and then we just had to like, explain the definition, use it in the sentence and all that stuff. Yeah, and I feel like criticism, that was his word, and he just ran with it. And it's like, bro, the thing is this, right? I guess when talking about criticism, you don't have to accept another person's criticism about you. If that was the case, there would be a lot of people in the movie industry that wouldn't even be acting anymore. Acting, writing, producing, directing, none of that. There would be a lot of people that you probably wouldn't even see half of the movies coming out in this day and age if it was left up to Rotten Tomato to have a say-so on a person's career or not and stuff. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I just always found his philosophy on criticism always confusing, because he wants to criticize people, but yet he can't accept criticism himself. And if he says that he did, then it's like, okay, why is it that our drama went on for so long? Because there's at times where I was criticizing him, more so his character, him as a person, because I'm like, you use your fans to gain the advantage on people. You don't fight your own battles. And that's the thing. You can go all the way back to like the first video that he did. He had his fans. Second video had his fans later on. And then when he started getting into it with other people, other friends of his that are content creators, and just even that call that he had with that streamer that he was, or content creator that he was stalking at VidCon. Who did he have in that call helping him out? His roommate. So it's like, that's the thing. Even when he he got canceled a couple of years ago for defending that pedophile, who did he want to have help him work on that video? His roommate. He is the most unoriginal content creator that I think I have ever seen. Because even that too, he just recently got I feel like that he would try to call somebody out for I guess if they were, no, wasn't that, he called me out. The funny thing is that was his whole thing, was that he didn't like reaction videos. But I don't think it was something where he personally didn't like reaction videos. He watched videos of other people talking about them not liking reaction videos, and then that's how he formed his opinion, was through other people's opinion. But the funny thing is this though, he tried to get on me about reaction videos. He just recently had his I think he was kicked out of the YouTube partnership program thing because, excuse me, he was using AI content. So it's like, I don't know whether it was because that's the thing, he don't do videos like the rest of the internet. He does he does videos where he wants to hide his identity. So I would imagine that the video had to be like had a lot of AI used in it and stuff. From if there was any talking done in the video, the voice was AI, the visuals was AI, it was probably an AI generated title, description, tags, the whole video just nothing but AI. And I'm thinking to myself, how is it that you're going to get on people for not being, because I feel like that was his whole thing with me, is that he didn't look at me being an original content creator because I'm reacting to videos. But I'm thinking to myself, people are clicking on my videos for my reaction. They're not clicking on the video for the video. If that's the case, they can just, because I link the videos every time when I do a reaction video. So instead of watching my reaction, just watch the original video. I provide the link to the original video. If not that, I'm providing the channel to the person that did the video. So that's why I'm like, yeah, he's somebody where I'm like, I've been talking about this for a while, that he's a hypocrite. He'll call you out on stuff, turn around and do the same things himself. And I'm like, bruh, I just don't, I don't get that. But anyways, yeah, I guess, to any content creator out there, be careful, I guess, doing the video. Otherwise, he'll call it cyberbullying and stuff. But anyways, with that being said, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.